Welcome back. My name is Toby. Today we're going to be talking about binary search. If you're here just for the animation, if you're a visual learner, which most people are, including myself, there's a timestamp below. You can just go ahead and skip this video and you can see how the algorithm works. But for everyone else, what is binary search? Binary search is a searching algorithm. It only works on sorted items like numbers. Some people even use it for the alphabet, but for the purposes of this demonstration, we will use numbers. Say you have the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in that order, and you wanted to find, say, 3. You can look at it and see 3 immediately, but how do you make the PC do it? How do you make the computer do it? This is the tried and tested approach. You will need 3 variables. One will represent the length of the numbers, -1, and it's often called high. And another variable for the location of the first item, often called low, and it's normally set to 0. The number we are trying to find is called the target. And to find the target, you just add low and high together and divide by 2 to get the midpoint, the third variable. The midpoint is often called mid. Essentially, you are just averaging the 2 points together. So in this case, low plus high divided by 2, which is 0 plus 4. There are 5 items in the list, -1, 4, divided by 2, you get 2. Just remember to change it to an integer, as you cannot use a float to check for a number in an array. You cannot use it to index. You then take the midpoint and check if the number in that position in the array matches the target. If you look at index 2, which is the number that we got from the calculation, we see that the third number in the list is not the second number because of how the array system works. The index is always one more than the actual location. We see that we found the target. If you look at the third number, we see that we found the target. We are looking for number 3. If the midpoint is equal to the target, that means we found it and it's in the list. If we are looking for, say, 2, then you take the same approach. This is the steps. Step 1, find the average for low and high, convert it to an integer, and that number that you get is the midpoint, mid. Step 2, check if the midpoint number is equal to the target. If that's true, then you can stop here. Else, if the midpoint does not equal our target, we need to continue searching. Step 3, if the target is less than the midpoint number, if that's true, then high will be equal to mid minus 1, else low will be equal to mid plus 1. The plus and minus are so that we don't get stuck. We don't get stuck in a loop. More on this later. Step 4. Repeat steps 1, 2, 3 until the target is found or not. And this is normally done in a while loop. And the way that you know if a target is not found is when all the variables are equal to one another. When high, low, and mid, if they are all equal and that index does not equal the number, then that means that number doesn't exist. And one thing to note is that low and high, they both represent positions in the list and not actual numbers in the list, even though that may be true on some occasions. Let's see this in action.